I'm Andrew from 510 Books. I run a local book and media store, and I also sell books and media on Amazon and eBay. And I've been doing it for almost 7.5 years now. Well, the online part I have, Amazon part. The rest of it came later. But regardless, I've been in business now for 7.5 years in this particular niche. And I heard somebody mention in a random video I was watching that you should listen more than you speak. The concept of we're born with 2 ears and 1 mouth, so therefore we should listen more than we actually talk. And when the person said it, it wasn't anything new. It just brought back to my mind the importance of that basic way of going about living and doing business and getting through life, basically. Because you can apply it really to anything. You can apply it to your personal life, your business life, and also, and whether it's with friends, whether it's with family, your spouse, your kids, or whether it's in your business or your job or career, it's often makes more sense to listen more than speak. Now, I'm not saying, of course, you shouldn't speak. That's ridiculous. But as an example, I catch myself doing this sometimes where I want to jump in while someone is talking to add my 2 cents, because whatever we're talking about, I had a thought and I feel it's really important to add that thought to the conversation, and I just want to jump in and either interrupt them or immediately start talking when they're finished talking. And there's a break in what they're saying. And I realized that recently, a couple of days ago, when I was going to do that, I stopped myself and said, you know what? Instead of paying attention to what that person is saying so that we can have a better quality conversation and exchange, no matter what it's about, right? No matter if it's something not that important, something really important, whatever it is. Instead of paying attention to what they're saying so I can respond, so I can be a respectful participant in the conversation, I was going to jump in and, like I said, either cut them off or immediately start saying what I had in my mind, which means that I would not be paying attention, more than likely not be paying attention to what they had just said. And because I was so focused on remembering what I wanted to say and how cool it was or how important it was. And maybe what I have to say is really cool, is really important, is going to add to the conversation and extend the conversation, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not only more respectful, but it's better for the conversation, and it's better for just the idea of ideas and getting them out in a way that is not trying to control the conversation or trying to take it over or make it your way, basically. So that reminded me of thought popped into my head. Oh, I should hold back, listen to what they're saying, and then I'll add my 2 cents, even if what I have to say I feel is great. Hopefully they do as well. But then I watched a video or heard the person say, this guy say that it's important to listen more than we speak. And generally speaking, I think that is true. It can be for selfish reasons, but I think that it just benefits everybody. And there's certain people, right, that are extroverted, certain people that are introverted. There's talkers, there's people that don't want to say anything, that it's painful for them to have a conversation. I see this in my local store. I actually was like that when I was a kid and a young adult. I was not comfortable talking to strangers, wasn't very comfortable speaking to people, which is why making all these videos has been really helpful, even though I'm talking to myself or to you guys through my phone. But nonetheless, and now going into business, it has sort of forced me to to be more comfortable talking to people and listening to them. Because if you listen to somebody and you feel that, or uh, and you repeat or reiterate what they've said, and they feel that you are paying attention to them, that is a huge benefit, not only to their self-esteem, but also to you in the situation where, if you're in a business situation, or even just a personal relationship, or relationship you're trying to grow or build, or you're just trying to sell something, right? I mean, when they hear that you're listening to them, or that you're using their name, so you're listening, right? What's their name? What are they talking about? Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I really love science fiction too, reading science fiction. And that's one of my favorite authors, as you just said, whatever it is. It'll make them feel good. It'll be good for the conversation. It'll be beneficial to everybody, really. And then people will also look at you as someone who, oh, they're so great to talk to. They're such a great listener, and they really hear me out. Now, you might end up with a lot of people talking your ear off. So they could use a little bit of this advice and listen more than talk. But sometimes people have to just get it out. Some people, like I said, are just more innately talkative and conversationalists. And unfortunately, some people they just talk and they don't say much, but they talk and talk and talk. And so sometimes it's good to know, it's good to listen, but also at the same time, it's good to know when to get out and say, oh, well, yeah, I've got to get back to this. That's a good time to talk, right? Or, yeah, I've got to go take care of this. Or, it was really great talking to you. There's some people that are, I don't meet this many people, but you've probably met people like this. You might be like this yourself, where you literally keep talking so much that the person you're talking to never gets a chance to talk. And when they try to jump in, you just keep talking, or that person keeps talking. And I don't meet too many people that are to that degree, like such an extreme degree, but it does happen. And those can be really difficult conversations. But I recommend just getting out of there, or, it's up to you how polite you want to be, but, it's a good idea, to listen, but at the same time, if you got to go, you got to go, and get out of the conversation. But yeah, generally speaking, when it comes to, life in general, but this vlog, this channel is about my business. And when I listen to people and I hear, like, for instance, in my bookstore, I hear what they like, kind of stuff they like to buy or like to listen to or like to read, or just about themselves, then if I remember that, if I listen and I remember, and I connect it to that person, ideally their name as well, but with these masks, it's hard. But when they come back and I remember that, it's going to be a huge component of the image that they have of me, but also of my business, and then the positive stuff that they're going to say about it. So it's really important, I think, to do that, and to just realize that it's probably more valuable to listen more than to talk. And again, I'm not saying don't, when you're having a conversation, you're supposed to be talking back and forth, of course, but hopefully if you're listening, the other person is going to listen, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a business relationship. If you can't listen to each other, to your spouse or your significant other, or, whoever it is, your best friend, then that's going to be a rough relationship anyway. But, that's kind of things we can work on. And I know anyway, for my business, focusing on the business side, that I need to get better with it. And I think I'm pretty good, because I'm less talkative than more extroverted, conversationalists. And also I realize, when I say, oh, hello, someone comes into my store, I realize pretty quickly whether they're interested in talking or not. They just might say, oh, hi, and they get right to what they're going to look for. And some people are like, oh, hi, how are you? And all that stuff. So it's better to listen. If you're not paying attention and listening, if you just say hi and then you're not paying attention to their response, and then you start jumping into some questions or conversations, you might annoy them, which could be detrimental to you or your business, in that relationship, and that person might not come back. So keep that in mind as well. Hold on one second. So yes, have a conversation, talk, get your point across, but listen more than you talk. If you find yourself talking on and on, maybe it's a good idea to just kind of hold back, because also it can be really off-putting to other people. In my business, if I were just to talk, I'm sure people would just be like, would start to tune out, would start to look around and not even be able to pay attention because I'm talking about so much. So a few times I catch myself doing that, but mostly I don't, just because I'm not, going to talk your ear off unless you're showing a lot of interest in what I have to say, business-wise. But overall, it's not. It's just going to be, back and forth conversation, listening to them, and trying to remember, what they're saying and attaching it to that person, basically. So my advice, guys, is just listen more than talk. In general, be respectful. I think it'll be great for your business, but also for, personal relationships as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe. I don't usually make these kind of videos. You talk about specifics of my business, but it applies to business anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.